is
Zaza. Oh, yeah.
Fitzy and
Sweet as.
Wippa.
Hey, welcome to the podcast, man. So good to have you tuning in for this funky pod.
You don't have to be street, mate.
Sorry.
It's a podcast.
How about
You're
the
not
word
trying
funky?
to get into a gang in your local
Yeah,
area.
but you've gone to a music festival over the weekend. You're going to talk about it. So Whips is trying to step up.
Oh,
a bit
no,
more.
okay.
Have you not
Come on in,
identified
man.
this?
No, I love music.
Here's your
festivals.
laminate. In you come.
Yeah, a AAA, man.
Whipper does laminate too, but he makes the girl at reception laminate his kids' paintings.
Yeah, that's
It's a bit
different. You won't get into a festival
well, no,
with that.
I've been to one music festival, the Future Music Festival at Randwick Racecourse. Remember that?
Yeah, it was massive.
Dropped your girlfriend off at the airport and you were on. Unfortunately, you didn't watch any of the bands. You just watched Lara Bingle
Yeah, I
all
was-
day in the VIP tent.
Dancing with her to the presets.
No, you weren't.
I'll never forget
You
that.
weren't talking to her at all. You were staring at her the whole time.
She
It was
didn't
quite
know I was
creepy.
there.
You just dropped your girlfriend off at the airport.
I dropped my pants at the
Sicko.
festival.
Absolute sick.
Tom, what about when we went to see Tame Impala in Byron Bay, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd been in Mullumbimby.
Stop just
Is
saying
this,
that.
is this where you went to Splendor and went
I've been
home
to
early, Tom?
Splendor. about
he
three
went.
times.
He got to Splendor at 11 a.m. and he'd booked a table at Sales for 1 p.m. in Noosa.
Yeah.
So he saw half an hour and off he went.
Do you know the hardest part? I was turning up to sales in your Ralph Lauren gumboots. You shouldn't all do that. But what a trip, guys. And well done to Tame Impala, who aren't that good live.
They're one of the
Straight-
best in the world.
Joking, guys. I bloody love them. I wouldn't miss a show.
No, I took the kids to their first music festival over the weekend. It was a bit of a roller coaster ride. You'll hear about it in the podcast.
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
Over the weekend, I took my two boys, 13 and 9, Huey and Lenny, to their first music festival, Sarah.
Amazing. They
Harvest
look
Rock.
like they had the best time.
Wearing the T-shirt. You got to wear the T-shirt the first day of work. The next day, Huey got a hat. They were really excited about it. The thing is, though, I went with 4 of my best mates that I grew up with and their kids as well. So altogether, we had 12 kids.
What, so Semps was there?
So we were thinking that this was just going to be a huge day. The kids running amok and we get to watch our favourite bands. It's going to be awesome. Nothing will go wrong.
Never.
I mean, but anyone that goes to a music festival knows it's a marathon. Like it's a roller coaster. You have moments where you're really into it, other moments where you want to go home.
Yep.
Harvest Rock is a great festival. There was some huge bands like Jack White. We'll talk about Jack White later on. But, we rocked up and I wanted to get there and show them one of my favourite bands of all time, UMI. So you rock up and UMI are playing in, purple sneakers and everyone's getting into it. And there's this moment where as a dad, I was like, yes, this is it. I'm finally get to show them this is what it's all about. After 2 songs, they're bored out of their brains.
They didn't know the music, did
Dad, there's the donut van over there. Can we go over to the donut van?
they? Yeah,
Totally.
I'll take your kids.
So you're like, okay, no, just stick around. UMI, they're only on for 45 minutes, but we can just watch this. Then we'll go get some donuts afterwards.
So this was in Adelaide, yes?
This is in Adelaide,
So
yes.
you'd flown the kids to Adelaide,
Yep.
right? So the build-up is massive.
Yes.
Like the journey and the sell that you had as a dad to go, this is going to change your life forever. And you'll always remember your first festival.
And it's...
And you're there 2 songs in and they're at the donut van.
Well, they wanted to go to the donut van. So we went to the donut van. And then we watched Courtney Barnett, another great Australian artist. She was awesome as well. And I thought, this is it. We're doing really well here. 2 songs into that, the kids are like,
Can we get another bourbon,
go
Dad?
get some soft drink.
Can we get a couple of black rats, Dad?
Aren't they old
in the
enough
tins.
for you to give them a 20 and say, Huey, you're in charge, off you go?
Then Huey saw a crepe van. Can I get a crepe with Nutella in it? Oh,
Crepes
mate.
are
So,
the
so you're
best.
basically bribing your kids just to stick around to see the acts that you want. But you know what? And then there was a moment where it was really well set up. The weather came in. So the westerly came in. It was cold. It started raining. Luckily, we had our rain jackets in there, but it started getting a little bit muddy. And there was a moment at about 7 o'clock that everyone was gone. Like, the kids were like, we want to go home.
They would have been
Please, Dad.
so wet.
It's
My crepes are soggy.
I'm cold. I'm tired.
I've done enough.
They're niggling each other. There was a beach ball getting hit around. Lenny was booting it into patrons' faces.
Right.
Like, to get it back into the crowd. And I thought, oh, this is it. We are over. And I looked at the boys, my mates, and I went, this is it. They're done. I don't know if we can stick around. Jack White was about to play. He's one of the greatest guitarists in the world. Then all of a sudden, Groove Armada comes on. and this song comes on.
Great song.
And two of the kids snuck in past the security guard and got down to the front of stage, and they're right...
Like your mate's kids.
Yeah, my mate's kids. Then Huey and Lenny did the same thing, and this security guard, I was waving to him, he was fine. And there was a few people that were allowed right at the front of the stage. The kids were mesmerised, and all of a sudden it was like... They've kicked into another gear here. This is the second wind. Wow. And they're on. And then this song comes on, which every kid knows. They're into it. So now we've got the kids back. This is what I want to talk about. So then this is what happens. And I'd love to know from anyone who's been to a music festival before, did you sneak into a certain area? Well, how far did you get at a music festival?
Yeah.
Did you get backstage? So then what happened, right? We're watching Groove Armada, and Jack White had come on, Sarah. And he's the headline act of it's his only Australian show. But he's way over on the other stage. So I said to these guys, the security guard was there, and I had my mates, had the kids, and I said, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to this security guard. If we can get out that back bit through that security door there, we're backstage.
Yep.
So I went over to this guy, and he's like, Fitzy! Good to have you back home. Start talking to him. I put my hand on his shoulders, and I'm going, mate, so good to see you. I haven't seen you for so long. And as I'm doing it, I'm ushering the kids
To sneak through
this door, Sarah,
Awesome.
and my mates, and they all get through. And I said, mate, so good to see you. Then I show him my pass. We get out the back, and we're out the back. We walk all the way over to the other stage, and I'm not joking. There's the side of stage. We could hear Jack White playing. And I got them all together and I said, right, kids, we are going to try to get side of stage for Jack White. Don't jump around, don't do anything silly because we might get booted here. And there's this guy who came out and he was wearing a bowler hat and he was one of Jack White's right-hand men and he gets all the guitars for Jack White. He saw the kids and I went, oh, no, we're gone here. He grabs the kids. He goes, follow me. You guys need to come and watch this. Side of stage, and they were sitting on Jack White's guitar case.
Amazing.
It was crazy.
What a moment.
So they were into it then?
They were into it then. And then, they were gone at 7 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, Jack White's about to finish.
Yeah.
And you might have to start this song again, but Lenny's saying to me, Dad, he didn't play Seven Nation Army. And Lenny's about to cry. He's cold and
It's
he's
11 o'clock at night.
Turn it up, and then we just start hearing this. And then the kids
are back up again.
Oh, my God. And they're on again.
Don't stop now.
The thing is, though, and Sarah, I told you because you were down in Adelaide on the weekend as well. I didn't tell the kids we had a 6 a.m. flight.
Oh,
we
man.
We got back at midnight.
Don't.
They didn't want to go to sleep.
Don't.
And we had to be up in 4 hours.
Welcome to your first festival.
It's time to stop putting off your trips and start celebrating summer with an amazing getaway.
Whatif.com has all kinds of accommodation options all around Australia.
Check them out on the What If app.
What if? It's Aussie for travel.
Do you know what is coming up? I mean, Huey's 13 now, but he's only a few years away. Schoolies was over the weekend. Well done to the kids up on the Gold Coast as well. I did read over the weekend there was only 4 arrests on the first night.
Well done, guys. First night fever is always a troublesome time.
It is such a great weekend. The relief to know that your exams are over, schooling is over.
Have you got your results yet? They don't, do they?
No, they
so it really doesn't matter
Yeah.
at this stage.
No, freedom.
You know, the other one I want to talk about as well is formals. And there's probably still a few high school formals going on at the moment. A majority of them would be done. But Sydney Morning Herald did a article on how expensive formals are getting. Some students are paying up to $250 just to go to a formal.
What do you mean? You've got to buy a ticket to the formal?
You've got to buy a ticket to your own formal.
Well, you're paying for the event. That's not
No,
run
we
by the
never did
school.
that. We had to pay for the after party.
No, we didn't have to pay either. Ours wasn't the best going
But
around.
did you do them at a venue?
Yeah.
And so who paid for it?
I don't know, the school did.
Part of your schooling, isn't it? Like, you pay school fees and they're supposed to organise your formal.
The only expense was Ferrari formal hire. You know,
you weren't.
that got right. As if I had a suit. You know, I probably wore Dad's suit. Because remember I told you the story about how I had Dad's black tie on and I was leaning over a table telling a story and then I could smell something and it was my suit burning. There was a candle on the edge of the table and my crotch was on fire.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not joking. I had to buy Dad new pants. I burnt the crotch out of it.
Polyester goes up.
Oh, my God.
It goes straight up.
Extremely flammable crotch.
Well, straight up. And with
Oh,
the seat
God.
that he's wearing, I tell you what, those pants weren't going down, that's for sure. I was staying way up.
What?
I want to talk about formal disasters. I had a shocker. I got picked up by mates in a ute, and I was in the back of the tray on the way to the formal, and I fell off the back of the ute, Sarah.
Bad start.
Hurt my shoulder for the rest of the night.
Where was your date? In there too?
No, I
She was hockey strapped in?
Didn't have a date.
Oh.
Sorry, mate.
Did not have a date. 13:24. Oh, no, I wasn't a loser.
Didn't take a cane though, did you? So you're still in front.
No, you're a loser.
You're still in front.
Didn't have blonde tips, did
Blonde
you?
tips, a Matrix-style jacket, and a cane.
You didn't pose for a photo by a pond with running water.
Neo over here. No, I want to hear the worst formal disaster you had 13/24/10. You know what? I got a $100 gift card to give away to Iconic as well. We'll get you on next. First night of schoolies, Friday night up in the Gold Coast, only 4 arrests.
See you in heaven.
Well done, Australia. Is it, are the New South Wales kids up this weekend, or do the Queensland kids kick it off?
Queensland goes first.
Right, and then New South Wales is
Yeah.
next weekend?
Yeah, in Byron.
I can't wait. It's just, I can't wait to get up there. I've already
No, I don't
booked
think
my
you can go.
flights.
It's not really for
I've had
you.
to put down a $3,500 bond. Man,
Do you know what? We
over
went
the top.
Tommy and I went over to. We were living in Perth at the time, and you know how you have schoolies and then toolies. We
Do
went.
they have it over there?
Yeah, they go to Rottnest.
Wow.
They go over to Rotto, mate. Blotto at Blotto and Rotto. Anyway, they go over there. We had to go and to record something over there for Schoolies Week, and the policeman went, "You're not a toolie, mate. You're a droolie."
Oh, next level.
So that's the next level up. So don't you be a droolie, mate.
I want
Don't do that.
I want to focus on school formals though, because I don't know, majority of the school formals would be winding up now, but it's crazy. You know, I mean. Today it's a little bit different, you know. There's 360-degree cameras for Instagram. There's custom dessert bars.
Jeez.
Some schools are you got to pay $250 a head to go along to the school formal.
That's ridiculous.
Now that doesn't include your suit or your dress.
Mm-hmm.
Then obviously you've got to look after your partner as well. You have to get
Yeah.
transport there as well, Sarah.
Yeah.
Flowers.
It's too much. A lot of the kids now are opting for suit hire, which we did as well.
Yeah, that's what we did.
But you know, it's way too much.
I mean, we had when I finished school, myself and a couple of mates, we decided to get into the business of organising after parties. So people kind of knew that we would organise the after
Van
party.
Wilder over here.
So we would just organise a
Crown?
whole lot of grog, like
House at Crown.
like a hall somewhere, like a scout hall.
Scout hall full
hall.
of booze.
A scout hall, and then charge, I don't know, $75 a head.
Geez, that's rich.
And we took off to Thailand. We had a great time.
When was
We
this?
made a fortune.
1983?
No,
That's a long time ago.
Isn't it?
83.
$70 at that stage.
75 a head, no food, or maybe we did some chicken sandwiches. Everything fell apart though when one kid passed out in the toilet. The parents arrived and the police arrived. I was like, oh man, this business ain't for me.
So you
I'm
took
not
the
doing
money
this.
and ran.
Took the money and took off to Thailand and bought in some other stuff over there.
Well, I went to two formals, Sarah. I went to another formal at
popular.
another school, which
Yeah.
didn't go down too well with
Why?
the students there from Risty's Beach.
Christie's Beach, I think.
It's Christie's
Christie's Beach.
Yeah, but I was in love with Vinca Carville, so I wanted to go there. So I got picked up in in a ute, Sarah, and they said everyone, all the boys get into the back of the tray. And as we were going off, we're all having a bit of a laugh. There was a couple of tipples in there while we were going, and we went over a speed hump, and Vinca was in the back of the ute as well, and I went off the side.
What a Vinca.
Then there was a moment where I hurt my shoulder, but obviously you can't show the pain.
No.
of course
So the
not.
grimace for the rest of the night, trying to dance with Vinca, didn't go
Couldn't even
down
put an
well.
arm around her. I told you about the time I went to the formal with a girl. She had Bell's palsy.
Is that her name?
No,
Bell?
I can't remember her name. She had Bell's palsy. She had a rough one, mate. She was so nervous about her face, sort of half her face dropping, that she ripped into the champagne beforehand. So by the time we got to the formal, she was sideways. Face was down, she was sideways, the poor thing.
Maybe she just looked really sad to be your date.
No, she had a shocker. And then vomited all over the table stairs and went home. And I went, all right, well, maybe that's a sign.
I've seen a friend
Horrible
vomit in a schooner glass. It's not nice. is it?
it's-
Spew is disgusting.
Don't do that.
No.
Brooke in Kellyville, we're talking about the formal. It's happening at the moment, but what happened at yours?
I attended my Year 12 formal at Centrepoint Tower. I consumed 3 drinks, which I never had before, went straight to my head, vomited all over my dress. Apparently, I had to be, I don't recall, I was carried down Centre Point Tower by a security guard. They rang my parents to come and pick me up all the way from Kellyville. And we were in a rental car. My mum was driving a rental car, which broke down on the way home after vomiting. But my punishment came the next day because I had to go to schoolies and catch a 6-hour train ride to Port Macquarie holding an ice cream bucket.
The pain, Brooke.
You wouldn't change it at all, would you?
Brooke, we've all been there.
But see, you...
And to this day, I'm a non-drinker.
Oh,
really?
Waiting for Mum and Dad out the front of Centre Point Tower as well. You're right in the heart of the city, so you have had people walking past. Your makeup's running, Brooke.
So, Brooke, is that the reason you don't drink?
One of the reasons.
Yeah, one of the reasons.
Well, you've done it a couple of times, I would suggest, Brooke. Didn't learn the first time, did you, Brooke?
I get to relive that story every year.
Oh, man. What a beauty.
Let's go to Mark in Preston's. What was your formal disaster, Mark?
Morning, team. So my high school sweetheart and I had planned matching outfits for the formal, and the day before she dumped me. But that's not even the worst part, because when we rocked up on the night as part of the formalities, they had all these awards that they were giving out.
Yeah.
We won cutest couple.
Oh, brutal.
And you were there by yourself, Mark?
Yeah, so someone had to run up on stage awkwardly and whisper something before.
Oh, no.
Did she have eyes on another guy in your class, Mark, or...?
No, just not me.
Why did she break up with you? What did she say, Mark?
Look, I don't even... I blocked it out, obviously, due to PTSD.
Yeah, damage.
I'm pretty sure it was just, we're not... it's not you, it's me kind of thing.
Oh, Mark.
Oh, it's so traumatising. I took a guy to the formal who I was so in love with, and he had a girlfriend, and so she came to the after party just to make sure I didn't do it.
So you stood in the corner lonely?
I was a bit lonely.
That would have ripped you up. Well, I
did.
Remember Kristen Murray revealed to me, because we went all the way through high school. We went in year 8, and she said to me, "I'd really liked you, but you got cold sores all the time."
The old herp.
Yeah.
She didn't want the herp.
She said, "I just couldn't look at the scabs on your top lip while I was going in for the kiss." And I said, "That's fair enough."
That's okay.
You should have worn a dental dam.
As I'm crying to her, and my cummerbund was coming off because I was so skinny.
Isn't that what you put on the face?
No,
when
mate.
you do CPR?
Dental dam is when you don't think it.
Yeah.
The body should be touching when you are slatting south.
I meant the face mask.
South of the border.
I thought it was the CPR face
Weird to
mask.
see at a formal.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I got this suit from Ferrari formal wear,
And I got this dental dam off Dad.
Says
That is
if
not
you
what I
walk
meant.
past someone requiring CPR, don't give him a dental dam.
No,
That won't help him. Will not help him.
I think you meant
I meant
to
a
blow into
face.
their mouth, not there.
What?
Wait, is this an educational program?
Oh, and then your cummerbuns come off.
Can we?
Oh my God! This is
We go to
extraordinary.
James in Bankstown. What was your formal disaster, Jim?
Yeah, go fellas. Well, it wasn't me. It was our mate Tim. He rocked up to the formal, and basically this car sped up, did a burnout in the car park. 2 guys jumped out, opened the boot of their car. He's in the boot, bound and gagged. They throw him onto the ground, no shoes, wearing a bright yellow suit, and then they get in the car and speed off. And the guy spent the whole night at the formal just wearing no shoes and his bright yellow suit.
So it was a stitch up from his mates.
Well, we realised later that apparently he planned the whole thing, just a flashy entrance.
I've been kidnapped. I'm in the back of the boot.
Yeah, that's the one.
What a rough entry. Great joke on yourself. Remember I told you about Bucas? I think last week I was talking about Bucas at our formal. He had the worst night of his life. Firstly, he ripped his pants on the dance floor. We had Wei Shin Mak, one of the students. He was DJing at the time. Wei Shin was a DJ and rapper. And Bucas split his pants open right at the back. So Mum came and swapped his pants. Bucas was on the dance floor doing all sorts of moves, worming, sweating like a beast. He'd had far too much to drink. So Bucas ended up vomiting down the front of himself. Then he got into a punch-on with somebody else. And then he fell asleep at a pot plant, but someone weed in the pot plant, and poor Bucas got urinated on.
Disgusting.
Then gets into a taxi.
Trough boy.
Taxi didn't want him. He's pushed out the other side, so the taxi drives off. And poor Bucas is now lying on the road. Then woke up on his front lawn.
Yeah.
His mum found him on his front front lawn. How was your night, Bucas?
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, really good to catch up with a couple of the guys and have a few quiet beers. Torn shirt, vomit, stinking of urine.
It's a normal
Dental dam just hanging off the
Yeah, that's
You
weird.
need to go back there, Matt.
And a dental dam.
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
I want to talk about documenting disaster. And this goes back to the funniest home video days when you're filming something and someone gets injured or something bad happens. The decision to put down the camera or to keep filming. What do you do?
I mean, it's changed now because everyone's got a phone, got a camera. So you can kind of run towards helping while still filming. It's not like back in the day when it was your dad with like a bulky shoe box on his shoulder trying to film.
Yeah. Well, because this just came out over the weekend. This was in Peru. A flight had to crash land over there. Everyone on the flight was fine. Oh, actually, sorry. There were a couple of people that lost their lives. Sorry.
From the fire engines that crashed into the plane.
Yes. Okay, so they've had to put out the flames on the plane. As all the passengers that were getting off, the survivors were getting off, this couple has copped a lot of criticism because the guy decided to take a selfie in front of the plane that crashed, Sarah.
Yeah, a little bit on the nose.
What I like about the shot is you've got the plane in the background, well done. He's covered in fire retardant, so he's looks like he's at some foam party. And he's there with the missus smiling in front of the plane.
It's like...
Here we go, honey, before we get back to the lounge.
I suppose, if you take the photo and you keep it to yourself...
That's one thing, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't
Mark the moment with a picture.
Well, see, there's been other photos that have been... you do remember, I think there was the photos over in Colombia as well, and this lady was posing in front of them she's putting that up on social media with the bushfires coming in the background there.
Oh, yeah, she's just put a midriff on and double denim.
Put a filter on herself and she's done the sort of the pose to the side.
It's like when you hear stories of people and they'll go to a funeral and be open casket. One last selfie and they're down by the casket. Oh my God, are we both in? Well, he's not moving. And you're getting a shot.
What about, okay, let's go through. If it's your own kids, right, and you're filming your own kids and going, oh, this is so cute, but then they fall off the top of a slippery dip. You immediately put the phone down to go to their aid.
You'd have to, yeah.
You just check. If they're all right, if they're talking while they're on the ground, you can keep going.
You're right. You've got about 3 seconds to go. They're teasing that or not?
What if it's somebody else's kid?
Nah, God, no.
You keep filming?
Oh, yeah. Just in case the owners, just in case the parents want it. If the kid's all right and you've missed a great moment.
The other big one as well is when a kid's on a skateboard and they start going down a hill and you know that they're in trouble, the parents that decide to keep filming.
But if you can't stop it, then what?
You got to have something to show the doctor in the emergency room. Like, this was how he fell.
Remember the kid who was on a push bike and there was a magpie swooping and he was screaming as he rode down the street and the dad just kept filming? Because what else are you going to do? You can't shoot the magpie from here.
Because I do agree that in hindsight, like the next day when everyone's having a laugh about it, if you did put your phone down to help your child, I think you would be a bit shattered with yourself the next day that you wouldn't get the end result.
I mean, you got that photo there on the tarmac of the couple that are smiling. Huge likes, like big follow.
Massive
Number
likes.
one selfie at the moment, getting around on social media. So congratulations.
I wouldn't have put it up on social media.
Nah.
I would have put it onto a Christmas card and sent it around to the family.
By the way, how was your year?
How was your year? Have a look at ours.
Update from the family, currently on the tarmac.
13 24 10. If there is a family or a friend, if there's a famous video that you have of someone who didn't come to your aid and they decided to keep filming. Alana's given us a call from Willowvale. Good morning, Alana.
Hey, how you going?
Yeah, good. We're just talking about documenting disaster. When you're filming something and someone's in trouble or about to be hurt, do you keep filming or do you go to their aid? Have you got a story for us?
I do. My 2 daughters were mucking around in their room one day and my younger daughter pushed my eldest daughter into her bed, fell over and split her chin open, and it was a bit of a hospital trip. And taking her over, she was pretty good, no tears or anything, but when we got to the hospital, she said, Mum, I want you to film them gluing my chin. So I literally sat on the hospital bed with her and filmed the whole thing of them, cleaning out the, split and gluing it shut.
Oh, it's good for the gram. Did she post it?
No, she didn't post it, though.
Oh, would have been awesome on
There you go,
TikTok.
Mum. Just mum filming the whole time.
Is there any footage of your wife, Fitzy, doing anything that's never been revealed?
Oh, yes.
Is that still a sensitive one?
Let's not bring that up. That is still in the phone. It will be revealed one day, and she knows that. But, yeah, my wife, she rode a BMX off a mound at a wedding in a wedding dress. And she jumped on the BMX, went down, and in the shot, it's amazing, Sarah, because she goes over this jump, and then she's gone out of sight. Wow! She comes off the BMX,
Oh, BJ.
But has never been revealed.
but she refuses. I wanted to sell it as an NFT.
Yeah.
Do you remember, guys? Do you remember in that
NFTs?
world when we had NFTs?
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
Lights, camera, clarity.
Sarah.
The top trending stories this morning in entertainment. Morgan Freeman. Isn't he getting slammed for his involvement in Qatar's opening ceremony?
What did he do?
Well, he's just been part of it. He did the voiceover and then he was on stage.
That's right.
Everyone was wondering why he was wearing a glove. That's because his hand is seriously damaged from a car accident he had a while ago.
Like a glove.
But everyone's saying blood money. I'm just moving past your terrible impersonation.
That is a horrible impersonation.
Everybody's saying disrespectful.
Yeah, it is.
No,
You're right.
It's going too much.
Blood money. All right,
Please
I can't
stop.
do Morgan Freeman.
No, you
I
can't.
do
Busy
Morgan. Get busy, die.
Neither of you can do Morgan Freeman. Yeah, he's been called a sellout. You do feel for the guy. Look, 12 years after, the thing is, he was part of the USA's bid to host these to host the World Cup, and they obviously failed. Qatar got it. People are saying you're a sellout 'cause now you've jumped over there. David Beckham was sitting front and centre, so he's copping it
A few
as
empty
well.
seats in the stand.
Well, this is the
There was
thing.
plenty of people that said, no, this doesn't work for me.
Lots of empty seats, and a lot of people left during the first game.
Well, you can't drink at the stadiums now.
Yeah, that's another big
and
one.
They'd said that they could, and then they
Yeah.
had Budweiser on board, and then they pulled the pin at the 11th hour.
You're not allowed to drink at all at any of the games. And that was only a few days ago that they made that decision.
No alcohol
Imagine
sales.
the English supporters getting all the way over there.
Oh, yeah.
And the accommodation is so expensive.
Yeah.
And you're told that you're not allowed to drink at the game.
And in that
Only
part
when
of the
you
world,
arrive.
There's not a pub on every corner either. You can drink in a hotel, but that's about it. So, I mean, your mind runs. How much money?
Would he have been paid? I don't know. That's the
Yeah.
thing. No one's put up a figure, but they're saying obviously millions of dollars.
Do you know, the thing is, though, you know what? When the World Cup's over, in a month's time, everyone will forget about it.
Well, all eyes will be on Adelaide, won't they, for the golf? Greg Norman's golf coming
yes.
down.
Yeah.
so
Get
then it's
busy
our
living.
Well,
get
and-
paid very well.
Let's change to another story then, because that's terrible.
Sure.
Over the weekend, Ellen Pompeo, who's Meredith Grey on Grey's Anatomy, after 19 seasons as the face of that show, has said she's leaving. The thing is, her co-star, McDreamy, Patrick Dempsey, he was doing an interview with Jimmy Kimmel, and some suspicions about why she's left the show came up.
I don't know if you heard, because she got caught stealing Band-Aids from the set. They
Really? Finally, they caught her.
Yeah, and they sadly had to let her go. But isn't
Can you imagine what she would have in her house now from
Oh
19
man,
seasons?
if I ever get
Like
a
a full
wound,
hospital in the
I'm
basement.
headed right there. Yeah, for sure. Do you find you get better attention at the hospital because of that?
Absolutely.
You do, really?
Yeah, I get right around the line completely.
Isn't that amazing? He also said that because the show's been going for so long, people who were inspired by his and Meredith's characters at the very first season in this 19 years have gone, studied medicine, and now practicing. Wow. So sometimes when he goes to the doctor, people say to him, I started studying because you inspired me.
Well, she's actually become a surgeon without actually going to a university either.
Quite possibly.
Well, she would know certain aspects of surgery without
so
a doubt.
much. Yeah, the language.
19 years.
19 years.
Man, I didn't know it was on. I thought it finished a decade ago.
No, it is still huge. She's the highest paid TV star in the world, has been for a long time.
She had that real... She can put on that sad face as well, and she's just gorgeous, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a great actress. I mean, I know, yes, you're right. A lot of us have stopped watching. Still huge in the States, still going strong even though she's leaving.
Still chasing cars.
That's it.
Oh,
Wow,
yeah,
you're
great
really
song.
contributing today, aren't you?
I've never watched the show, to be honest. I've
It was
never
a
watched
great
it.
show.
And they don't really care about
They
your
would.
feeling as well.
They
I
have
don't
never
think
inspired me to take up
hasn't
medicine.
affected their ratings at all.
not
really.
No. But I just wanted to come out and
But
say
yeah, to
that.
make sure that'll be a headline on Daily Mail tomorrow. Michael Whiffley does not watch Grey's
Grey's
Anatomy.
Anatomy. After 19 years, he finally admits.
No Simpsons, no Grey's Anatomy, no Star Wars. Don't
No.
miss a moment, do you, mate? Finger
He's
on the
into
pulse. Finally, guys, the big news over the weekend, Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles. Geez, we thought this one would last forever, but those two have split up.
Says this stunk from the word go.
Didn't it?
And we were all over this one. And I was like, this is no surprise. This is no jarring headline.
Yeah.
It was a matter of time, wasn't it?
I did love that the ex-nanny, the one who did all those interviews 2 weeks ago, she was the first one to jump out and say she's ecstatic at the news. She said that Harry dumped Olivia, although I do not know how she would have the inside word these days. Anyway, it is apparently because of his touring schedule, but...
Sure.
who knows?
So now she's left her husband.
Yep.
She's broken up the family to chase a younger man.
Yeah.
And to make the movie of her dreams, and it has ended in disaster.
Project ends, relationship ends. Harry, I just guess, wouldn't want all this stink.
No, he
around
doesn't need it on him.
Doesn't need it.
Where do you go from there?
Well, she'll
Pete
probably...
Davidson.
Oh, yeah,
You go to
actually,
Pete.
You know what?
If
He's
in doubt.
highly likely
Yeah,
to hook up with her.
If you're hot and single in Hollywood.
He's not single.
Hi, Olivia. Emily Radikowski. That was last week, mate. Come
That will
in.
be pretty amazing if they end up
Oh,
together.
wouldn't surprise me.
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
This is exciting, guys, because if you are single at this time of the year, if you're in a long-distance relationship, there's a new toy that might buy you a little bit of comfort, which is exciting to think about. For $160, you can now buy an emotional support bear. It is a human-sized teddy bear, which they've designed it for women, which means the bear is dressed like a man. So
Right.
it is
So it's got the body of a man, but the head of a teddy bear.
That's exactly right.
gotcha.
But it comes with a t-shirt on, a pair of pants.
Does it have is it fluffy all over like a teddy bear?
Yes, it is. It's soft, so you can really snuggle into it. I mean, this girl here with the dark hair, she's basically fallen asleep on the bear's chest. She's completely in love.
This is totally designed by a bloke because let's all be fair, who is snuggling their partner in bed
No one.
for more than a minute?
No one, no
so
one,
that's a hopeful
no one.
bear, that is. No woman wants that.
I reckon they do say it, probably more than a man, because, you know, this is not going to be an annoyance at all, and you can get up and walk away completely emotion-free. The loving bear is called Puffy, so you can just hop into bed with Puffy.
bear.
I mean, look at the size of Puffy. You'll see the girl on the couch stretched out alongside
he's
Puffy.
massive.
He's a huge unit.
She looks so comfortable.
But he looks like he's been to the gym,
Yeah.
Puffy. I mean, he's quite a ripped teddy bear, quite a masculine bear.
Went to Mum and Dad's house on the weekend. Mum's got 2 teddy ruxpins out the back.
Oh, awesome.
Talking
She
bear.
found them at a garage sale.
Do they work?
That was the first ever talking bear,
Yeah.
remember?
That's all I ever wanted as a
You
kid.
had to put a cassette into the back of it and Teddy would talk to you.
I'm Teddy Ruxpin.
It was pretty creepy, but they're worth a bit of money now.
Yeah, they would be.
tell you the story about the kid at the park?
No.
Did its mouth move?
Yeah, it did
Yeah, it
move.
did.
Yeah.
The
I think
bottom.
it sounded like that at all.
Hey, I'm Teddy Ruxpin.
I think it was American, wasn't it?
I used to put my Mariah Carey tapes into the back of Teddy Ruxpin, and so Teddy would sing Mariah Carey.
And then a hero comes. And
So much right about
Where's
you,
that
Tom.
music coming from?
Yeah, so good.
It's Tom's bear singing to him again. As he lies in bed with his bear and a poster of David Charvet on the
Dream,
ceiling.
love, and come. It's Tom's lying in bed. Yeah, nice.
You had another soft toy that you used to take to bed, didn't you?
No, that was the cat.
It's a cat.
Oh,
Tinker.
Tinker, yeah, Tinkerbell. She
That's right. And then you used to watch Angela Lansbury as you rubbed your
Right.
crotch on the mohair rug.
Whoa!
Escalated.
That is not a toy.
And then your mum and dad
Not to
would
be
come
played
in.
with, Tom. That's just for
You couldn't stand up.
just to wipe your feet.
There was an emergency once, and he got up and knocked a lamp over and rang the doorbell on the way out the door. And
Murder, she wrote. Tom was murdering something else that day, that's for
oh
sure.
my God, can we get a new rug for Christmas? This one's worn out.
So where do you get them from?
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
The World Cup kicked off this morning. Huge game. Massive Massive upset. Ecuador beat Qatar 2-0.
Done, dusted.
Australians are playing here.
Wednesday morning?
Wednesday morning, 6 a.m. So we'll be doing the show live
Playing
as
the French?
Aussie. Yeah, it's a very tough game. I mean, if a win for us would be a draw with France. I mean, if we can draw with France, it'd be massive.
Yeah, where do they sit? Are they very good?
They're expected to win the tournament, or at least one of the absolute favourites. And we were given I believe, 0.1% chance of winning.
Just chasing the odds on that.
Do you know what? As Aussies as well, if you are firm underdogs there, I mean, we've always been known over the years just to go
Okay.
Just to go, maybe hit a couple of players behind the
Studs
scenes.
up,
and
you
stuff.
reckon?
You should, yeah.
So I was saying, just on it, mate.
Yeah.
Knock
Make
out
a
a couple of
headline.
big players early.
What was it that Andrew Redmayne did in the penalty
Threw the
shoot? Threw the
water
water bottle into the crowd.
It's not
afraid
bad.
of that.
France paying $1.22, Australia paying $10.
Worth a flutter.
Fair.
Or if
Have a
there
swing.
is an Australian supporter over there, I mean, the old fire alarm in France's hotel building
It's not
before
bad,
they
is it?
play is not bad either at 3 o'clock in the morning.
So they don't sleep at all.
The first time an Australian supporter group would be sober for a couple of weeks, so we might get very
Yeah, I
creative.
know.
Usually we're just asleep.
Even if you need to sneak into the hotel and throw some laxatives in so they're completely dehydrated by the time they get out there. That on top of the fire alarm and we should be okay.
Did anyone see the FIFA president Gianni Infantino yesterday at a press conference? He's sick of everyone having a go at Qatar getting the World Cup.
Yeah, he's over it.
This is coming from one of the most dodgy and corrupt organisations of all time. And he just said, look, we've been told many lessons from Europeans, from the Western world. He said that you are in no position to give morality lessons to Qatar given their past and current behaviour. He then went on to say this. Have a listen.
I have very strong feelings. Today I feel Qatari. Today I feel Arab. Today I feel African.
What?
Today I feel gay. Today I feel disabled. Today I feel a migrant worker.
It's a very
Don't
niche.
feel a migrant worker.
What's his point?
It's a very niche minority. He's talking about minority groups.
Yeah.
And how they feel and how they're being.
Do they want to be presented by him?
How they're being persecuted. He's saying that's how I feel like today. That's you having a go at Qatar having the World Cup. That's how I feel about it today.
I thought he was. The World Cup is an all-inclusive tournament, and today I feel all these things
That's
because
what I
we've all
thought,
come
no.
That
together.
would be nicer.
That's how I read it too. I thought he was saying, I understand the feel. We are all.
I mean,
we are one. We are many.
The great problem is that if he does feel that way there, then
You can't really be
he's
gay
gonna
there,
be
can you?
thrown on the way out the door. So probably don't feel that too strongly, champ. That's why we have an issue with the tournament being there. You buffoon. 131873
Gee, he has launched. Because we were meant to have the World Cup here.
Supposed to be here right now.
Imagine how different that'd be.
Do you remember? I think we poured $11 million into that campaign, and Frank Lowy put a lot of money into that.
That's right.
And remember, it was an amazing campaign. And remember, we got one vote.
Yeah.
Well, Qatar is a great place to have a tournament. It seems like a wonderful celebration.
It's going well so
Oh,
far.
so good.
Everyone's
Well,
wrapped.
Santo Chilaro said the other night that they got 220 votes, but there was only 19 people voting. So that was an amazing.
Weird.
It's amazing.
Weird how that happens.
The Fitzy and Wippa Show is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.